Hello, everyone. Welcome to this third webinar on our Romexis Masterclass series. My name is Saila Parmes, and thank you for joining us this morning, or maybe for some of you, afternoon or evening. But this is the third webinar, and the topic for today, for the next hour, will be the 2D imaging tools. And I remind you that if you have any questions during the webinar, please type them to the chat, the questions section, and my colleague will be answering you there. But let's start with Romexis then. So if there are someone who are not familiar with Romexis, so if we start from the basics, so we have all the different tools for all 2D, 3D, and CAD/CAM imaging here, easily accessible. So once you have selected your patient, you can easily access all of the patient images for different kind of image types. And this is now the patient file. We have here, of course, if we want to capture new images, you can find those capture buttons for all 2D, 3D, and CAD/CAM up here on the upper toolbar. Also, if you want to, for example, import some photos, face photos, intraoral photos, you can do them directly from here, or we do have some automated functionalities also for that. Then here we see the whole list of the patient files. So as you can see, we have here 2D images, photos, we have CBCTs, we have intraoral scans. All of them are seen here in the same place. And of course, if the patient has a lot of images, then it's nice to know that we have these different filtering options. So you can, just by clicking here, you can filter the data that you are interested in at that moment. And for example, for 2D images, so in our 2D module, there's many different kind of 2D images and photos that you can work with. So you can create studies. You can have, of course, 2D panoramic images, CBCT 2D. These are screenshots or snapshots that have been made from a CBCT volume. Those can be saved to the 2D side. Cephalometric images, 2D cephalometric images, photos of the patient, like said, intraoral photos, face photos, lateral photos, and then, of course, the intraoral images. And with all of these, you can also, if the patient has a lot of images, so what you might find helpful are these filtering options. So we have here on the right side, there is the possibility of filter by tooth number. So if you are interested in a specific tooth number, you just click on that tooth number here, and Romexis will filter all the images that have that tooth number, like this. And this is now actually a very nice thing, because just in the latest release of Romexis, we added the possibility of using AI for recognition of the tooth numbers from each intraoral image. So, of course, previously you have been able to manually mark the tooth numbers, but now we can do it also with the AI. And I will show that soon, how it's done. So then you can be sure that all the intraoral X-rays will have the tooth numbers marked, and it will help you in this filtering by tooth number. Okay, but apart from the tooth number, then you also have the filtering per date. So if you're interested in some specific date, so you can just click that one date there, and Romexis will filter the images. So very nice and easy to filter, especially when we have a lot of images for the patient. Also here, this view, you can select yourself how you want to configure it. There are 3 different kind of views. You can have everything shown like this as a carousel format, or then you can select them to be shown per category of the images, or then, like I had it, they are ordered by the date, so the newest ones on top. And those selections, you can save them here as you wish. You can also adjust the size of the thumbnails, which might come handy if you have a very small or very big screen. Okay, but I will show now the automatic tooth numbering AI function because that is something really new. So let's show that quickly, and then we will go into the actual tools in the 2D module. But basically, Romexis now captures, or whenever you capture any 2D intraoral X-ray, whether you capture it with our own devices or through Twain, or you import manually, so Romexis will automatically apply the AI to them. And I will show you now how easy it is, especially, of course, if we have a new big full mouth series. So this comes very handy. So if I would be, for example, if I have captured a full mouth series, I select this study template. I will explain these templates later in the webinar more in detail. But I select that one, and then we select to import the images. So let's look from here. So I have here all the intraoral images open. And now Romexis will ask me to define the image type here. Let's apply to all the images, and then we click OK. And now Romexis will, we will see soon how it will import the images to the right slots based on this AI that it uses for recognizing the tooth numbers. So it first of all, it recognizes the tooth numbers from the images, but it also then places the images into right places. Here you can see in a few seconds it did the job. And then also, of course, it rotates the images per tooth number so that every image goes to the right spot. So a very new function available since Romexis 7 version 6.5.2, and very nice and handy to be able to have the tooth numbers on all the new X-ray, 2D X-ray images that you capture. Okay, but I will get back to these study templates a bit later, but let's start from the more basic tools. So we, of course, we were here in the patient file, so you can, of course, double click here on any image to open it up on the 2D module. Or also then we have here this object browser below, where you can, again, you have here the different categories, so you can look for the image that you want to open, and then just double click it to open it up. And we can click the browser from here. So we have all the space for viewing. And now from here, of course, if we would have captured a new image, we could have used these, but we can also open an old image. And we have now on the right side toolbar, we have all the adjustment tools and measurement and annotation tools. So first of all, of course, if we have a new installation, a new device that we are using for capturing intraoral X-rays, so the first thing after installation would be that we would adjust the image with the contrast and brightness and the sharpness sliders here. You can adjust it to your wishes, to your needs, and then those adjustments can be saved as default processings. So this is very important to know and to do, so that it will save you time later on when you capture same image type. So basically, if I would now adjust this intraoral image to as I want to see it, then I could go here to the File module, Capture, Save Image Enhancements as Default Enhancements. And then Romexis will ask me if I want to save this pre-processing as a default for this computer, this specific local computer, or global. So then it would affect all the workstations in this Romexis installation. So then you can decide that one. So this makes it possible that if there's multiple people, or if there's people who wish to have a different kind of filtering on their intraoral images, so then you could use the local. So each one has on their own Romexis computer has their own settings as they wish. And this, of course, then saves time. It removes the need of manual adjustments. So just like that, you can save. And this, the same process, the same from the file menu, capture, save image enhancements as default enhancements. So that can be done to also to all the 2D X-ray images, so panoramic and cephalometric as well. Okay, but let's continue with the adjustments. So you have the contrast and brightness sliders here. If you wish, you can also use the mouse right button by clicking down. So I'm pressing the mouse right button, now down. So you can, by moving to the right and the left, so you are adjusting the brightness, and up and down, so you are adjusting the contrast. So that might come in handy also. It might be easier to adjust than using the sliders. And then nice tool is, of course, also to use this, adjust the gamma with this green line over the histogram. So that can be used as well. And if you do some changes that you don't like the result, so you have, luckily we have here the undo and redo and revert. So if you want to get back to the original image. But actually, nice thing also in Romexis is that if we look down here in the lower part of the right side toolbar, so we have this history. So you can see here that there's the original image, and then the adjustments that I have just made are saved here. So if I would want to go back to the original image without any adjustments, I can just click on top of this original image text, and it will revert all the filterings. And you will see now, once I demonstrate also other filtering options here, so every new adjustment that you make to the image is saved in the history. So you always have an easy way of going back to the original image, or then coming back to the filters that you have used. Okay, but those contrast and brightness and sharpness setting were found here. And then after that, we have the cropping and rotation tools. So maybe there's the free rotation that allows you to freely rotate the image, maybe more necessary for photos if you want to rotate those. Then there's the rotation buttons if the image needs to be rotated. Cropping, mostly useful for face photos if you want to adjust the crop for those, and then mirroring of the images. So these, of course, if you are not using the AI for the recognition of the tooth numbers and the automatic rotation of the images per tooth number, so then you might need to use these manual mirroring tools. Then below that, we have there's a different kind of filters. I will show the clarify filter on the panoramic images because it makes more sense there. But we have here, what we have next is the noise removal, the speckle. So this is just, you click once and it does the noise removal to the image. And now you can see, like I mentioned before, so you can see that it added here to the history a new line with the noise removal. So all the changes that you make to the image processing are saved here. Then there's the third tool here is optimization of the contrast. So that one, if you click on it, nothing will happen yet by just activating the tool. But what you need to do is you need to click on some place on the image. So for example, if I click now here with the mouse left click, so you will see that it optimizes the contrast based on that specific area that I have clicked. So depending what is it that you want to view, what is it that you want to optimize the contrast for, when you go and click on different areas of the image of the teeth, so it will optimize the contrast based on that area. And then when you deactivate this, it will return to normal. So that's for quick contrast optimization based on the finding that you are looking for. Then the fourth one is the inversion of the image. So this one, a very nice, easy to use, one-click tool as well to see better maybe some of the findings, caries and so. Okay, that also is saved to the history here, so you can always go back to the original image or some adjustments that you had made, and then come back to the latest one. Okay, and then the fifth one here is the adjusting of the sharpness of the image. So here we have two sliders that we can use. So there's the extent. You can see how the image already changes if I adjust the extent, and then the strength. So if you need more sharpness to the image, you can use this one as well. I'm not going to add it now, so I will cancel that one. And then the sixth one here, image processing, is the Ceph filter. So I will show that later with a cephalometric image. Now there is also a very nice tool here under the view category, and it's this one that is called magnifier. So this magnifier, it's well, like the name says, it's a magnifier. You can see it says 2 times magnification. So this is it's nice to, if you want to have the overview of the image still visible there, but you want to just magnify some area, maybe explain the patient about some specific area of the image. And you can adjust the size of this magnifying glass with the mouse wheel. So you can make it bigger like this, or smaller with the mouse scroll wheel. And this magnifier actually also has other possibilities. So if you click with the mouse right button, it will change it will add a filter to the magnification. So this is now the inversion. It says again there on around the circle mode invert. So inversion, you can use this. Then the next one is equalization, then sharpening, embossing, and then it goes back to the normal magnification. So a very nice tool. Also, for example, if you have multiple images open or studies, this works nicely because you can just change from one image to another, and the magnification class works for all the images. Okay, then we have some measurement tools. So of course, the first one here, with 2D images, we need to be, of course, always responsible on when we do measurements. For example, for intraoral images, unless we have there some known some object that we know the dimensions for, so the calibration and the measurements that we do in an intraoral X-ray, you must take into account that they are not 100% sure because of the angulation that the sensor and the X-ray tube are in, and so but I will just demonstrate you how to calibrate if in case you would need to calibrate the image. So for calibration, for example, I know that this sensor or this image plate is of 40 millimeters long, so I can use that one. I will use that one here. to calibrate. So that can be done so, and then of course we have here all the basic, there's the angulation tool, there's a line measurement tool. In Romexis, you will see also in different modules we have these, there's this red small corner triangle, and that means that behind this tool there are other tools as well. So you have in the same button measuring single length and measuring polyline length. But if we do some let's do, for example, a single measurement here, for example, like that. So now we have, if we go and look down here again, next to the history part, so we have what we call object browser. This is a tool that is familiar also from the other modules. We have seen it in the 3D module in the previous webinars. And this object browser is the place where we collect all the annotations that you add to the image. So whether it's measurements or whether it's text annotations or whether it's planning an implant, so all of those are added here. So like you can see here, it also applied that one there. And now this is the place where we can manage the measurements. First of all, you can, of course, hide it from the eye icon if you have multiple of them, multiple measurements. So you can use the category eye icon to hide all of them. You can also change the color from here if you want a different color for the measurement, like that. And then this is the place where you can also select that one to be deleted. So you can select it and click on the garbage bin to delete it. And then we have all the different kind of drawing tools. There's again draw line. This one has again also the draw polyline possibility. Below you can draw horizontal, vertical lines. Add these arrows for marking something, for example, adding text here like that. And those annotations, just like the measurements, they are added here in the object browser below. And again, same way you can hide and show and delete if needed. There is also one nice tool, which is this last one, sketch free line. So this one is a tool that you can you need to keep clicking on the mouse left button. So you can draw here lines if you want to explain something to the patient, and those are not then saved. So when you deactivate the tool, it disappears. But this is very useful if you want to point out something for the patient. So you can just draw quickly like this while you explain, and then they are not saved to the actual image. So you don't need to delete them then anymore manually. So that one, sketch free line, is for quick communication when you don't want to save those for future use. Okay, and then we have here also the implant planning. So if in case you would want to do implant planning on a 2D image to show to the patient the plan that you have for the implant, so you can also use these. Well, it doesn't make much sense now in this image because we don't have an implant place, but you could add here an implant also to the image, and that way explain to the patient. So we have the same implant libraries that are found on the 3D side for the 3D implant planning. So those are also visible here in case you would need them and you want to use them. Okay, but those are all the basic tools here. Now, if we take a look here on the upper corner of the image, so if we have here there's the image properties button and diagnosis. So let's check first the image properties. So this is the place where you can see information on the image. Now, I don't have the X-ray parameters here, but of course, normally you would have those if you have captured the image with that device. And what we see also here are these, tooth numbering set by AI. So this is the place where you would manually add the tooth numbers that you have in the image, but now this is how you see it when the AI has done the work. And now if you would you would need to correct it, so you can just manually click on the tooth numbers that you want to add there, or then remove the ones that the AI recognized. So you can see there's a slight difference in the coloring. So the darker blue are the ones that I have marked, or the user has marked, and then the AI marks it in this bright lighter blue color. And then we have here the diagnosis. So this you can access from this icon that is right next to the image properties icon. And so you can write here the diagnosis, and that might be useful, for example, if you want to create then the report out from for the patient from the images. So if you type them here, then it will be easier to get the diagnosis also on the printouts that I will also show later. Okay, but let's now open up another image. So I will open up a panoramic image here. For example, that one. So when you open up multiple images, then what might come in handy is that you can set the layout. So by default, Romexis opens them up like this, one below the other. But with this set layout function, you can select how you want to see them. So you have the default layouts for 2, 3, or 4 images, and then you can also create your own type of layout, and you can even set default layouts so that you don't need to manually always adjust these if you always open a specific amount of images, sorry. But for example, so if I want to see these two, the panoramic and intraoral image side by side, so I just click there, and then they are moved into that kind of layout. Okay, now if we are, for example, if we want to view the panoramic image, so with I deactivated this pan button, so now I can with mouse scroll wheel, I can zoom in the image. And a nice thing here is also that we see here in the overview, we see the full overview for the panoramic image, and we see a green square around the area that we have now zoomed into. So we can also easily here then move the area of interest. So especially if we have zoomed in a lot, so we can quickly move by dragging this green square here, like this. And then if we want to get back to the full view, so we have here this zoom to fit, so it will take you back here. Now, also, of course, for the panoramics, just like we saw before, so you have, of course, you can adjust the contrast and brightness here, and the sharpness, obviously. And like we saw for the intraoral X-ray, so it's saved also here to the history. And also, if we do the adjustments, we might want to then save them as the default enhancements from this same place, just like for the intraoral X-rays. And now also a nice thing here is that actually let's open up this other. You have here the button to close all if you want to close all the images. let's see this one. I promised to show you the clarify filter. So there was this under image processing, the first tool here was the clarify filter. And that one has also these extent and strength values that you can adjust as per your need. So this is a filter that some people feel very important, but and others maybe do not see the use. But if you want to use it, you can find it here. Okay, that is one thing. Then let's see. Let's open up. For example, actually, let's open up back this and an intraoral X-ray. Then we can open up, of course, photos as well. I will open up some photos here. Again, we saw we could change the layout. So of course, if you are happy with this, then it's good. But for example, if you want to adjust like this, so I want to have the 3 intraoral X-ray and photos up and then the panoramic down, you can put it like this. And then if you want to arrange the position of these images, so you can just with the mouse left click, click and drag an image to the other place. So very nice and easy way of placing the images just where you want to have them. And on this, I will shortly show you the studies. So, but of course, if you always have similar kind of templates, similar kind of views that you want to have for all the patients or for many of them, so then it makes sense that you create these studies where you can really fix then those images to the position, so that the next time you open up that patient, you can just open up that study without needing to select all the images again from the image browser, image library. And here also, if you have multiple images opened up, so we have the possibility, there's a maximization tools. There's 2, so there's maximize and then there's maximize to full screen. So each of these images has those. So if I click here on the maximize, it opens that up here on top of the other images, and then we can with the mouse arrows move on the next images like this. And by clicking on the ESC button on your keyboard, then you can get back here. And another possibility is here, the maximize to full screen. So this then removes all the rest of Romexis. So you really take advantage of the whole screen that you have. And here also you can from the keyboard, you can use the mouse, sorry, not the mouse, the arrow buttons, and you can move in the images, go back and forth to see all of them. And if you would here want to do some measurements or annotations, so you could just open the toolbar from here, do the annotations if you wish, and then get back just like that. So a lot of possibilities here to maximize the images and the screen. And actually also, if you would happen to have 2 screens, or if you have any other need, so any image that you open in the 2D, if you double click on it, it will open up as a separate window, as we can see here. You can adjust the size for it. This is, by the way, very useful for studies. I will show that in a while as well. But this one is now a floating window. So if I would have here another screen, I could drag this to the other screen and maximize it. Or I could also now move to the 3D module, open up the 3D image from the patient file, and then view this image side by side with the CBCT, or with an intraoral scan, or whatever it is, the other data that you want to see it with. Okay, then let's see, before going to the studies, let's see then still this cephalometric images. So we have here the cephalometric, or we have an example of a cephalometric image, and I wanted to demonstrate still under image processing with the last tool here is this apply ceph filter. So quite a simple tool to use. Basically, here, if you would have the cephalometric image other way around, so then you could select this left so that the filtering goes to the right side. But basically here, so you can adjust these two lines so that they are marking the area where you want to adjust the visibility of the soft tissues, and then you have the gain here that you can adjust as well. And then you click OK, and it is applied. Then you can see here again the adjustments that I have done to this image. Okay, then let's see now the studies. So we have a very nice way for the studies. If we open up one here, for the studies, what you can do, just like we saw before when I had opened up to the panoramic, intraoral, and photos. So also here, if you want to maximize one of these images, whether it's with this maximize button or with this maximize to full screen, so then you can use the arrow buttons on the keyboard, or then you can use the arrow buttons that you see here on top of the screen. So both work, this one or the keyboard. So you can move in the study just like this, and then get back to the view. And with the studies, it's also nice that you can open up two studies at the same time. So if you have, for example, an older study for the patient and then a newer one, so you can very easily see them here side by side. And we can close the image browser so we have more space. And here also, when I showed you the floating window, so here also it might come handy. You can open up the same images, same bite wings from the same teeth, so you can open them up as bigger images on the screen, so you can more easily compare how the situation has evolved, what kind of changes there has been, like this. Okay, and I will now show how do you do then the studies. So when you are wanting to start a new study, so first of all, you can find the tool here, and there are some default study templates in Romexis, but you can also create your own ones. I will show that soon. But basically, in the study templates, you always define the slots for the images, how many of them you want to have, what type of images they are. For example, here I have defined a template with 4 photos. You can also define the numbers that we see up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the either the image capturing or the image selection order. And let's see if I have here some, well, for the bite wings here, so we see also we have defined the tooth numbers that should be visible on those images. So the tooth numbers, for example, here for the intraoral X-rays, so they help they make it possible that Romexis then when the AI recognizes the tooth number, so it will automatically know to position also those images, just like here. And if you are not using the AI for the tooth recognition. So then we have here also for this full mouth series. So then you would have this capturing order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can define which is the order in which you capture the images, so that when you are capturing them, Romexis will automatically position them in this order. Okay, but I will show here. It's in the admin module. So now this is of course based on the user rights that you have. I will just quickly show. We have in the admin module, we have templates. And this is the place where you can modify or create new ones. So if you want to modify some existing, you click here on update. You can adjust the layout. If you want to add, for example, 6 photos like that. And then by default, it adds the intra. So then by double clicking on that, you can change it so that it's a photo there. And then you could add the tooth numbers, and then you have the different exposure orders, sending orders, and how to align it. And you can also, let me show, for example, here in this place, you can also leave something as a void image. So if you want to have there a blank space for reason or another, so that can be done as well. But I will cancel. You click OK to save, but I will click cancel now because I didn't want to save that or I didn't want to modify that template. But basically, with this, you can create any kind of templates as you need, as you wish, and especially if you are using, for example, I know orthodontists use this a lot. They have their protocol on what kind of photos they always capture from the patient. So this is a nice way of creating a layout, a template that they can then always use, and it's easy and nice to add those images always in the same kind of template. So how it works is that you click the new study, you select the template that you want to have, and then let's go and see the photos that we have for the patient. So then I can start now double clicking here from the image browser, and the images will go there, or the photos, sorry, will go there. And then if I need to adjust, so I can just click and drag, and Romexis will ask me here if I want to move the image or swap images. So if I swap, then it swaps them one for another. And if I click move, then it actually makes, you will see, well, this one was left empty, and you will see that there's now this number 2 here. So it put the 2 images one on top of another. So this can be also a useful function sometimes. And then you can click and drag to the other place if wanted. Okay, but I think that's about the studies. Let's then see the reporting functionalities. Let's open up that panoramic image or let's actually use the other one. So for the panoramic image, so now, or actually for any 2D image that you have in Romexis, you can always use, if you right click on top of the image, so you have here a possibility of copy to clipboard. So you can click that one, and then you can open up some place where you want to save it to if you're doing some reporting, if you want to copy it to some presentation or so on. So you can just that easily copy it. So that is good to know. But also then if you want to create printouts with Romexis, so for that we have here this print images and edit print layouts. And this is now a very versatile tool. And well, first of all, the idea here is again that you would create your own templates. And there are some default templates that you will find here, but you can create your own ones. and then save them. So then when you need to do a similar kind of a template next time, so you will have it very nice and quick without without too much modifications. But basically, you get here automatically the patient's name, ID, and birth name, and those you can adjust here whether you want to see them or not. So if, for example, you would want to hide the ID of the patient, so you just click here on top of that line, and it is moved from there. And then you can add your own clinic logos, of course, here, and then the image that you have. So if you have multiple images open when you open this print editor, so all of those images will appear here. But also you can have that image. You can again adjust what are the information that you want to see. Now we have all the image capture information shown here, but those also then you can decide how you want to see them or not by clicking here. And if I would want to add, for example, here, let's open up the image browser again so we can get access to all the patient images. So let's say I would want to, for example, add this photo to the template as well, and let's select some intra photo. So I could then create this template like this. You have here also a free text box, so you can add your comments here, if any. If you have added the diagnosis to some image, so you can add that one also from here to the layout. So, okay, my diagnosis that I wrote before was type here your diagnosis. But it will take it automatically from that image properties dialog where we had written it. And let's make that. Yeah. And then ideally, like I said, so when you have modified this template as per your needs, you can use this save layout, and you can save it, well, either as a default template, so if there's always only one type of printout template that you want to use, so you can save it as that one, and you can save also as a name template, so like this. So then when you open up another patient with new images, so you can just directly select here the template form that you want, and then Romexis will automatically scale the panoramic image to this slot, the intraoral photo to that one, and the intraoral X-ray to that one. And the diagnosis box will be there and the comment box there. So if you do a little bit of configuration in the beginning, it will save you a lot of time afterwards. And if you are happy with the printout here, if you don't want to do any changes anymore, so you can, first of all, you can save the print. So if I click here, it will save this in Romexis for the current patient record. So you can do that one. But also, of course, if you want to print it out on paper or Dicom printer, so then you have the printing. So you just select your printer and print it from there. Okay, but let's close now this one. And so the printout was saved here to the patient file. Okay, then a few things, also still smaller things. So there's also one thing that you can configure that might be helpful sometimes is that this is a configurable option. You can have the inactivated images category here. So Romexis always saves the images even though they would be inactivated from here, and those are saved, but they are behind the system administration logins. So if you would have the need to have the users directly to reactivate some images that they have by mistake deleted, so that can be also done from here. And if you don't see this on your Romexis, so then you just need to configure it so that it's visible, and then the images can be reactivated from here. Then another thing is that Romexis has, of course, a lot of tools. It's an all-in-one software. We have a lot of possibilities. If there are some tools that you know that you never use and you think that they are just bothering you, so we have always the possibility of, if you bring the mouse and you click with the mouse right button on top, so it will allow you to customize the toolbar, and you can just select, let's say, for example, that I don't want to ever use the free rotate. So I can just deselect that one and it will disappear from here. So this is and then of course, if I want to bring it back, I can go back here and bring it back. But this is a nice way of, if you do have tools that you know that you never need, and you want to make the tools that you want to use, want to make them more visible and more easily foundable, so you can use that. And the same thing applies here. This, of course, also the amount of buttons that you see here depends on what devices you have. But here as well, you can hide, for example, if I'm not doing any DICOM printing, so I could just hide all these DICOM functions here to make it a bit simpler. And while we are talking about these different tools that we can see here, so I want to mention here also a few ones. We can create, like we see here, I have the launching DDX export. So we have a lot of different, actually I will show them here from the admin module. We have different connections to different kind of services and softwares. You can see here the full list. We can filter the ones that apply to the 2D module, but if you have the need to export images to some web services that you are using, or to some other software, so we have these integrations that we have made in Romexis that you can configure so that you have easy access to those from here. And actually, one of those is this second opinion, which is this AI button. I will quickly open up another patient with that one. So we made a few years ago, we made the integration with the second opinion, third-party service that is available online. But what we did is that whenever you capture an intraoral X-ray or a panoramic X-ray in Romexis, you can have Romexis automatically send it to the second opinion service. You just need to have a subscription to their service, a monthly subscription. And that way, Romexis will then retrieve in, is it maybe in one minute or so, it will retrieve, let's open up actually another one that has more findings that one did not have. So it will bring you back here all the findings, the carriers findings, as you can see here. Also, there's the bone level measurements, and it will also do, of course, the segmentations of the teeth for patient communication. So all of that will be nicely accessible directly from the Romexis user interface. So you don't need to export the image manually, upload it to some service, get the results there, and then bring the results back to Romexis. But everything will appear here. Okay, then I think I have now finished more or less with all the functionalities of the 2D module, but a few tips that I want to tell you still about. So first of all, please remember that we have up here on this upper right corner, we have the direct link to our tutorial videos. So if you click here, it will take you to our tutorial video webpage, where you can also find more information on the 2D imaging, on different categories if you need help with those. And then Another thing is actually, and I shared that file to the, let's look for it again. So we have this material bank where you can search for, I would search for Romexis manuals in English, so you can find Romexis shortcut commands. And I shared this to the chat also, so you should be able to download it for your use from this webinar. But there are shortcut commands that you can use from the keyboard to do different kind of tasks in Romexis. So especially if you are a heavy user of Romexis and especially 2D module, so you have very nice shortcuts for many things. So I really recommend you to check this out. There are of course shortcuts also for the 3D module. So if many times you want to do measurements, so it is nice to know that there's some keyboard shortcut for that. Saves you a bit of time with the moving of the mouse. Okay, and last but not least, I want to remind you that we still have 2 Romexis Masterclass webinars left in 2 weeks and then in 4 weeks on orthodontic tools and then on the orthognathic surgery tools or module. And I hope you will be able to attend also those. But I also, of course, want to thank you on attending this one. And I hope you have learned a lot of new things. If you have any questions, we will still be here answering them for a while. And if there are some questions that are unanswered, so we will answer them later on. But hope you learned many new things, and we would be happy to hear your feedback about the webinar and about Romexis. Thank you. Bye-bye.